Hello, hello. Girlie is back on Grounded now that she is back from D&D. Oh, it was crazy. Let me get in the game first. I have so much about D&D to talk about. I'm not single player. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this. So, the thumbnail for the last one, I don't know what it is, but I think the wolf spider has like a certain requirement for spawning. And so I was like going through trying to get this stupid spider. It wasn't appearing, and I was like, okay, I know which save has it. So I loaded it up and got a quick photo of it, so I will just load back the save where I was before I got the uh thumbnail video photo. So it's not cheating. Well, not cheating. It's not off camera gameplay. Let me load something up while I go. Oh, I should have done housekeeping. Well, I'll do quick housekeeping right now. So, I will be probably moving Grounded streams, because I had them 3 p.m. East. I will probably be moving them to around 12 p.m. East instead, so closer to towards the afternoon. Because that way I get a little bit bigger of a break between this stream and the Minecraft stream. Um, there's something else I wanted to mention. Oh, right. So, you will notice, if anybody watched the previous one, that I mentioned I was going to be home on Sunday morning, and then I might have gotten a video out that night, if not Monday. That didn't happen. My first stream was on Monday night. So, um, I guess I was misinformed slightly. My D&D, well, the group I went up to play D&D with, apparently the plan was that we were staying there until Sunday, like, evening. But the friend I was with who was giving me a ride back, she was like, "Oh, I don't really want to drive at nighttime, so can we leave Monday morning?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I didn't really care too much, and so actually I kind of preferred the morning. So I came back Monday morning instead, and then the first stream was at Monday night. So I did not forget to stream. I just wasn't I wasn't available as long as I thought. But it was fun. Um, so I think there was a couple things that I got wrong on my memory. The one thing that I remember that I got wrong when I was talking about D&D was that the first temple we went through, the senses that each of the so Gaius was in all three of our bodies, the half orc was in our bodies. And the senses that we all
Truly among my
didn't
finest
have,
work.
I got wrong. Instead of only one sense not being there, it was actually two. So I think it was Shiro, or well, Gaius and Shiro's body could only see. She couldn't hear or speak. Um, the first one we saw, Gaius and Vetvik's body could only. I think he could only hear. He couldn't see or speak. And then Gaius and Ivar's body could only speak. He couldn't see or hear. So yeah. Gaivik could only hear. Oh, no, Gaivik. Yeah. Gaivik could only hear. Gaivar could only speak, and then Gyro could only see. I thought there was a bird leaf up here. I guess not. Oh, you know what? I think I got it a couple times ago. I thought it would have respawned, but I guess not. There should be a feather around here somewhere. Um. So yeah. Oh, there was another part also of the warning that we got that I didn't mention. I completely forgot about it. It was everything had already came to pass except one, which was don't travel. What? Are you okay? Is that a bee? It is a bee. Are you sleeping? Okay. Anyways. The only one that hadn't came to pass was don't travel on the 3rd of the month. Because, it was, I think at the time we were given that warning, it was around the 17th of the month. So, the way the month works, or the calendar works, is that there's 10 months, each with 30 days, if I'm correct. And so, we are on, I think, when we got out of the first temple, it was the 5th, oh no, it was the 16th, I think, because we had just missed Ivar's birthday, and so we, like, all celebrated the character's birthday. And then, I think it took us, oh no, his birthday was on the 6th of the month, and we got out the 5th, and then it took us about a week, so, to get to the halfling village we went to. I think it's either, I think it's halflings. I think I might have said dwarves last time. It's halflings. So it's a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that would have landed us around the 13th or 14th, roughly. And then after that, what is going on? Oh. And then after that, we took a day. We napped for a night. So roughly the 15th, and then by the time we got to this temple, it was around, yeah, this like 15th to 17th, one of those days we ended up at the temple. So
could use some lemon slices, but it's drinkable.
So yeah, we also, I don't think I mentioned that, but that was one of the other parts of the warning that we got. What is happening? What else happened? Or did I forget? I don't remember what I forgot last time, which I guess it's not too important. I'll mention it if I remember. But so, the session prior, we had left off with, we were right outside the temple of Zokaitas, which is the god/gods of life and death. What did I need for this? What is detected? What? Who? Oh. Yeah, so it's the temple of Zokaitas. Where are you going? Dude. This is spiderling, I swear to God. So... I don't remember. Oh, did I have crow feather pieces? I deposited 5. Which means if there's any more in one of these barrel boxes, it means... Okay. I'm just out of range when I'm building. So, yeah, we left off at the Temple of Zokaitas. We just got jumped by 5 people in a cloak. I do remember, I think I couldn't remember all the races they were. So we had a human, a dragonborn, an elf. Shoot. A human, a dragonborn, an elf. I don't remember what the other 2 were. Oh, one was like a cat thing. I forget the name. And then there was another thing, but... So, yeah. we got jumped by those guys, and then we had just ended off the, like, we were about to spend the night there and just hang out, heal up, because we got that fight was pretty tough. I think we only ended up killing the human because all the others ran away. So yeah, we spend the night, and that's where we left off last session. So this session, we wake up, say our goodbyes to Gaius, and then, what was it? Yeah, we said our goodbyes to Gaius. He went off. Act 2. I think he said he was, I think the town we came from prior was Valia, or something along those names. We asked him where his group was, the Order Sakai, or he said he was going to Valia first to meet up with his party, and then they were going back with the rest of the Order of Zacchaeus, which is the, like, paladin group's name, I guess, or like whatever group they're part of. Where's is there only those small wheat stems? I thought there were more. Oh. Yeah. So, we asked where that was, which I think, I forget where exactly, but he gave us the location of it. And we were like, cool. So he heads out, we say goodbye, and now we're left facing this temple. So, we get in, we start cutting the weeds. We eventually get through to the other side, and the weeds sort of like, or it was vines, they sort of like form back afterwards to like cover the entrance, and we go, ooh, that's not good. Did that spider just throw up? What just happened? But yeah, we're like, that's not good. And so we keep going, and we enter this main room. He's so eepy. Oh, is he in the cub? That is not... Okay. Yeah. So we get to this main room, and so there were 6 pillars and 8 torches on the sides, and then in the like back there was this throne room. It was kind of like a throne room. In the back there was this throne, and I forget what he actually was. He kind of looked like a werewolf. He had 2 battle axes, I think, in his hands, or like some sort of hammer or axe. And he's made of stone, and he's not moving. And immediately we were like, We go along the side of the walls, and on each, it's a rectangle, and we were at the bottom of the rectangle, so we were yeah, it was a rectangle. We're facing the other long end of the rectangle, and the statue of the werewolf guy is there. And so we hugged the walls, and on each side of the other walls, there were 2 doors. One was the door of life, and the other was the door of death, and they were, like, decorated as so. So we go over, we're examining them, and I think Vetvik, after he helps my character who rolled like a nat 1 and so was like looking at the pillar instead, after he helped my character identify that she was looking at, ooh, oh, that's lag. I like identified that she was looking at the door of life. He went over towards the back, towards the statue, and he examined it, and he noticed a trap door that was underneath this werewolf's feet. And as he's looking at this big stone werewolf, its eye moves and kind of like looks at him and like is looking around. And I forget, I don't think we moved to the center, but I think he just started speaking. What did he say? He was basically like, oh, many have tried, many have failed, like basic temple stuff, like, ooh, not a lot of people made through it here. So yeah, basically that happened. And he was like, oh, I will give you guys a way out now if you don't think you are ready. Or if you don't want to, if you value your life and stuff. And so he pointed, both doors opened, and oh my god. I forgot that was there. Oh shoot, you're up. You are up. Oh, and the other one is too.
Chauffeur?
Oh my god, I'm stuck.
We'll try later.
Hey!
Death comes from my bug friend.
That's rude. Excuse me. I was blocking.
Gotta pick up the stragglers.
Okay, well. Spawn.
You've been spared for
Okay,
now.
you respawn with me. That's cool.
Riding you is a metaphor for capitalism. This is elating.
Did you go back into hiding? Okay, you're over there. So, as I was saying, both doors had opened, and he was pointing at the life door, and he was like, basically like, that's the exit if you value your life. And Vetvik was like, what about the one that you're standing on? He's like, oh, you're not supposed to go through that. And we kind of eyebrow raise. Oh, the way the doors were described, it was like the life one was like this brilliant white light, and then the death door was just like a black void. So we're like,
Let's take a second to get our composure.
We're like, we wanna go through that door. Where's all my plant fiber? Did I not pick up my... Oh, the ant has it. You little butt. Get back here. So yeah. Basically, we're like, we wanna go through the door that you're standing on. And he's like, no. So after a second of we're clearly not going through either door, he's like, alright, you guys have made your choice. But I forgot what he said, but it was like, soon your screams will, or remember that I gave you the choice when, as your screams like join the chorus or something. What did I need? 6, 7. I'm gonna do 8 for now. So both doors closed, and we're sat there, and he's like, Lee was like, all right. Yeah, not he. The DM. I was like, I was like, wait, the werewolf didn't say to roll for initiative. No, so the DM said roll for initiative. So we did, and we're fighting. Sorry, my brain is gone. So we start fighting this werewolf. It was a tough battle. I'm gonna be honest. I think my character got knocked down maybe once, and then like by the end of the fight, she was at like 2 HP.
Truly among my finest work.
I don't think we rested, but we partway through the fight, I forgot to mention this. Partway through the fight, Ivar's character had, or well, yeah, Ivar had rolled an insight check just to see, like, because we were kind of unsure if this was what we were supposed to be doing. And I think the part player got like a 20 or something on insight. And the DM was like, yeah, you can tell that this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like, this is some sort of test. And so we're like, oh my god, thank god. So, yeah. With that, we fought him. We killed him. Oh, as the battle happened, every top of the turn order, there was like every 5 feet, so every like tile of this room would like crumble and become difficult terrain, and then stuff that was already, it was like a ring around, and it would get smaller and smaller, and like anything that was normal stone would start to shrink in and become difficult terrain, and anything that had been difficult terrain prior just disintegrated. I think into like a void or something. I don't remember what exactly it looked like. Right, I don't think we ever really like got a description for that. And the wall had started cracking when we refused to go through either the life or death door. So yeah, we fight him. I think my character lands a finishing blow or something. We had very little terrain left, and he had like this charge attack that nearly like ate up my character's HP. And so we're like, But yeah, my character kills him. He disintegrates into like rocky crumble. And after a moment, he starts to reform, and we're like, oh no. And so we each prepare to like attack in case he like tries to do something. But he reforms in this kneeling position, and he was basically like, I'm not your enemy. You guys fought well. And he was just giving us kind of like a warning about what's to come in the temple. For like to be careful and stuff. So we were like, okay. So yeah. I think he stayed in that kneeling position afterwards, and we go to this trap door, and we're like, all right. So we open it up, and we're filtered into, I think it was I can't remember if it was a hallway or no, it was like we were filtered into this room, and in front of this door there was a package on the floor. And so my character goes up, and the DM actually handed me in real life, she had a bag that she was being very suspicious about up until this point. Like, there were clearly minifigures and whatever we were fighting in there, but she pulls out from that bag as well this like little parcel thing. She's like, yeah, there's a parcel on the ground, and Shiro, I was like, all right, Shiro will take it. And I, in real life, opened it up, and it was like this vial that I knew the DM had just like, I've seen it before, like I think she bought it at the Ren Fair we went to or something. And so I was like, oh, it's a health potion, because attached to it was like this little thing, piece of paper, beautiful handwriting that said, to whoever needs it most. So, there was a little bit of a mistake on my part. Since I knew the DM had this and it was supposed to be a health potion, like just in real life, I assumed that's what it was. Especially since my character was at 2 HP. As I'm like about to, like, as I think I asked her like something like, and she just like gave a vague answer like that kind of implied it was a health potion, but she was also distracted talking to the other players. And so I was like, alright, I'm gonna shake and I'm gonna give myself HP. And so I shook it. It was a D8 in there. I don't think it's even like the right hit, like the right health dice for whatever potion normally. And I think I rolled a 3, and since I was at 2 HP, I was supposed to add 5, but I erased it and accidentally did 3. And before I could even, like, erase and add the health back, she was like, did you just drink it? I was like, yeah. She's like, she's like, it's not a health potion. Like, it's purple. And I was like, okay, well, you didn't give me the color of it. And we kind of retconned it. And she was like, I didn't even plan. I don't even know what to do if you drank it. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of assumed it was a health potion since she in real life had. It was supposed to be a health potion. And so we retconned it. I was like, okay, never mind. And I've been made fun of it ever since, pretty much. But so yeah, Shiro has this in her inventory now, and we open the door, and there's just a high lag. Is that here to stay? No, that's not. Are there no shelves? I thought there was like some shelf, or do I not have the blueprints? I don't think I have the blueprints. I'm gonna get side tables instead. So yeah, we open it up and it's like this room with just a lot of people in it, and some were clearly like on the ground. Some people were laying on the ground, some people were like sitting there crying. Like it was a very tense atmosphere. It kind of looked like a dining hall. In the middle there were these tables pretty much that had food on it, but nobody was eating it. Wait, no, I'm supposed to... Sorry, I'm learning the controls again. So yeah. We... Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, she laggy. Ooh, she's so laggy. Why is she so laggy? Oh, is that why she laggy? Is that why she laggy? Hold on. I don't know why she's so laggy. So. Yeah, we go in, there's people on the floor, people like crying or like upset. There's tables with food on it, no one's eating it. And immediately in front of us, she like labeled them group 1 through 8. And immediately in front of us was a group of 4 on the floor. And she didn't say it initially, but it was apparently ourselves. We were on the ground, like a doppelganger of us. And we're like, what the heck?
Water, bringer of life.
So I think it was Ivar rolled like a nat 1, or we made like a con saving throw. Me, Vetvik were fine. Ivar rolled a nat 1, so he was just like kind of begging for his life, but I forgot what Vetvik did. It was very like, it was kind of basic. I think he just like started praying or something, or well, these were the doppelganger's reactions. The doppelganger, Ivar begs for his life. Vetvik started like praying or something. But my character, the doppelganger of, because I was like, oh, I think she would give like some sort of warning to her past self. But I was like, I don't have any context of what is to come in this dungeon, so I don't know what to say. And the DM was like, she kind of took charge of my doppelganger character. She's like, that's fine, I'll give one. And so she was like, your doppelganger looks up at you and just says, I understand. I got to see him again. And knowing the context behind my character, I was like, oh my god. Cause I was like drinking a cup of root beer looking at her as she was saying this, and the second she said that, I didn't even take a sip. I just lowered it. I was like, oh my god. Cause I know who she's referring to. What is that noise? Okay. Hold on, let me block let me ban this person who's posting a stream or link. Not a link to a stream, it's like the, oh, get more viewers. So yeah. She gives that, and then I think they go like unresponsive or something. And we're like, So every character we can't really interact with as much, or we can't interact with those guys again. Invalid surface? What? Excuse me? I just want an eighth. It can clearly go here. I promise you, game. It can go on here. So yeah. We go off, we split up, and we make our rounds around the room. And we start talking to people. I think my character was up first, or like something. And she went to, oh no, I don't think she was. But basically, from what I remember of the groups, there was we made fun of this one guy because it was like an older orc. Or we said or the DM said old orc initially, sitting at one of the tables. I think he was drinking like beer or something. And we were like, oh my god, it's old Gaius. And she was like, not old, but like older. I think it was a full orc or something. And we were like, oh, it's older Gaius. And so that's how we refer to him since then. There was, one of the groups was a little girl with her two parents on the floor. There was this woman at the table, or at one of the tables, with a man laying on it. There was an old woman in the corner. There was 3 boys, 2 on the floor, 1 standing there. There were these 2 gnomes. Number 1, Vetvik hates gnomes. I'm pretty sure I said this. It was actually really funny because he ended up talking to them. There were 2 gnomes. 1 was on the floor, 1 was like crying. There was this big group of people, she didn't even give us a number, it was just like a bunch of people, and then like 1 guy up against the wall within this group of people. And so we made our rounds. I'm gonna go one by one. I don't remember exactly who talked to who and stuff. I do remember, the DM said that with each of these characters, 1 represented, kind of our own. In a way, like there was something about our backstory that was reflected in a way to three of the stories that we ended up learning from these people. We came to the conclusion, obviously, that that this file was meant for somebody. When we initially talked to them, there was no clear answer. As I'm getting lag, hold on. Let me quit again. There was, so yeah, there was no clear answer to who to give this file to. And then, yeah, there's no clear answer, so we were like, what if we just threw it on the ground? Or like try to give it out to everybody in the food, but clearly, I think we rolled something and it was like, oh, this vial's only meant for 1 person. We were like, dang it! So, the option of giving it to everybody wasn't really a thing. And then eventually we did have to make a guess. So, the stories, from what I remember, oh, that's a crow. The old orc, or older Gaius, he was sitting there and he was like, oh, I'm so sick, but I have these 2 daughters at home, or 2, I don't think he said daughters, I think it was just, he was like, oh, I have 2 kids at home who need me. I think my character asked him, like, do you know where this came from? He was like, no, I just, suddenly I was traveling here and then I got it, or something, or he just suddenly had it. It became very clear nobody knew what this sickness was, and so, like, we didn't know. The woman sitting at the table, yeah, the woman sitting at the table with the man on top, or yeah, man on it. She was like, "Oh, this is my husband, and he became so horribly sick." The girl with her parents, she was crying. She was like, I think the DM said she was like 4 years old, and we were like, "Oh my god." The two gnomes, it was, I think the story we got out of it was that it was one of them was too scared to leave their house. And so the other sister went for them and ended up catching this sickness. And so she was crying because she was like, "Oh, it should have been me. I should have left it instead." Who else was there? Oh yeah, the old woman in the corner. We found out she was dead. She was just sitting there dead, and we're like, okay. We kind of joked for a while that we were like, oh, we should just give it to her. But we decided not to because apparently with the god of, or well, these gods I think I mentioned previously swap every, I think, 1,000 years. The only time they get to see each other is when the other is about to die, and whoever's the god of death at the time will like carry them to the afterlife, and then they swap roles. So yeah, we were like, some of the major points was like, don't try to extend someone's life, but save when you can. Accept, embrace life and death, like accept death. So we decided that we weren't gonna give it to her, the dead woman, because it was like, well, clearly, clearly, clearly she's already dead, and it would be trying to extend her life when she already died. So we decided not to. And then, what was it? Oh yeah, I don't have any. Oh no, I do. So yeah, what was it? It was. I'm trying to remember the layout. It was a circular room. It had some scones or sconces, whatever it was pronounced. There was like these windows out, and it was a courtyard. We didn't really try to break through the window just because we didn't think that was what we were supposed to be doing. So it was that. Gaius, old Gaius. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm forgetting someone. I know there's the big groups still. I'm trying to remember anybody except for that big group before I get to that. I mean, it wasn't any more important. I just can't remember. So yeah, the big group, we go, one of us goes up, or I think all of us made of collect there. And we were like, so what's the deal? Because we talked to the guy sitting up against the wall, and he was the only one of the group sick. And he was apparently the leader. He's like, oh, I brought them here, and they're not ready to go without me. And we gave him the advice of like, do what you can when you're alive. Try to like train somebody to fit your position and stuff. So yeah, I think we all talked to group number 1 and the large group. Group number 1 was our doppelgangers. So that's 2. And then we each, I think, rotated around to 2. So my character talked to old Gaius and older Gaius and the elf on the table. Vetvik talked to... Oh! The 3 kids! That's what I'm missing. Alright. I was actually in the bathroom for this part, so I don't 100% remember or know the story to it. I don't think I was told afterwards. It was general consensus by the other 2 players that their story wasn't any more worth saving than anybody else, because everybody else clearly needed this potion, but like there was no clear answer. Oh, you can see the little thingies now, I think. Yeah, it looks like they fixed that. Yeah, I just remember them saying like it wasn't any more like any more clear answer than the rest, so
Writing you is a
yeah.
metaphor for capitalism.
I think we eventually settled on the only thing that we could find was the right answer was that the child, it was both her parents, like, it was both her parents were going to be dead. And she was only 4 years old, so we were like, alright, if anybody, this is probably the person that, like, one of the parents at least. So we ended up giving the thing to the mom. And she drank it, she was fine. Like, the father nodded, like, it was best, like, he was like, I thank you for saving my wife. He was glad we saved her,
Bottled in
and
scenic Brook Hollow.
she thanked us as well and handed us a key. Because there was a... What is that noise? I think I forgot to mention, but there was a door at the other end of this room that we were in, the circular room. Hey. That's so rude. Stop. Just die. Thank you. So yeah, we go to this door and we open it. We didn't really feel confident about our answer, but we didn't get smited down, so we were like, alright, cool. We learned later, it was similar to, quite a few of these puzzles were very similar to the first temple. There was no right answer. Also, while I'm paused, I'm going to use the bathroom. So I will be back in like 2 seconds. I'm gonna be another minute because I think a family member just got home. Really is back. There probably will be talking in the background, and that I will have to mute. Oh my god. So, where was I? The circular room, yes. Let me pull this up. So, what is that beeping? So we finished the circular room, and
Taste is a luxury few can afford. At this size, anyway.
oh my god. If anybody's had it where their mom comes home and just starts dogging on everyone, that's basically what happened. What?
It doesn't feel harder than usual. Take a piece off. It feels different, right? It's not as soft as the normal one. Maybe I'm just not a stupid idiot and know what my food tastes like. I don't stuff down my throat. Tastes fine, doesn't it? It tastes a little bit different. It doesn't taste bad. It's hard. It feels like it's kind of stale.
It feels stale.
Exactly. We bought a different kind, so maybe they're just thicker. No, it's not. I don't usually buy that brand. We weren't in Price Chopper. You can't buy Price Chopper brand and
I'm gonna mute before I get doxxed. So we get past the circular room. And we get filtered into this very itty bitty room. Like, so each square is like 5 feet, and it was, I think it was 6 tiles. It was 2 by 3. So it was like not even like 10 feet across, or it was like 10 by 15 feet. Yeah, 10 by 15. So itty bitty baby room. And there is a like a like a table or like shelf, a small, very like small like shelf table, and there was 3 bar stools, and we immediately sat down at them, and the DM goes, "All right, there's like." I think it's there's a lady behind, there's like a slot in front of each of us, and it's like, oh, you guys must pay 8 gold. Or 8, yeah, 8 coins, I
Why
think,
even
or 8
bother
gold.
buying? Who wants those?
Can you not dump them all over the ground?
Gonna pick them up.
But they go, oh, who wants these? Wait, no. No, so 8 tokens, 8 tokens. And so she goes, you need 8 tokens, and she, as the game lags.
And I have one.
Can you not take all my chips?
I have 2. And there's food box.
This is why I don't let you take anything.
Oh,
You
food
said
box.
1 and then took 2.
You didn't take it away.
Cause I couldn't take it away
Yes,
when you were
and
grabbed it
it's
in
2
one
chips.
one.
It's 2 chips.
Still my chips.
I could have taken a handful.
You cannot take a handful because they're my chips. Yeah. Pee. But so she hands us each 3 coins. Oh no. No, she didn't hand us the coins. So, yeah, she's like, you need to pay 8 coins. And so we had like 200 something gold in our pouches. And so we each open it up. And instead of our gold being there, there's only 3 coins. We each have 3 gold coins. However, one of them's a more silver in color, and 2 of them are more like, clearly like an off gold. And so we flip them over, and each of these tokens has names on the back of them, or like a little face of the characters and names. So I think it was my character had. Ooh, you guys get to learn characters. So my character had a coin on the 2 of the coins were Dragonborns, and 1 was a half-orc. The half-orc was Gaius, and then one of the Dragonborns was Kiroi. The silver one was Kiroi, and then one of the other gold ones was Dragonborn named Yvonne. And then I think Vetvik had the Ninefold, which we learned is his like the clan, or not clan. I think clan, like the group of kobolds that he's with, that lives in a village with humans. Molu was there, and then the King Rowan was also one of his tokens, with the silver one being Molu, I believe. Or no. Yeah, with the silver one being Molu. And then Ivar had Belios was one of the gold ones. And then I can't remember who, but I think it was one of the other gold ones was was Ivar's dad. And then the silver one was Ivar's teacher. I cannot remember either of those two's names for the life of me. So, yeah. We initially think that 9 coins, we're given 9 coins and we have to, like, keep one and give the others up. And so we're debating who to give up. I went partway through, I was like, oh my god, what if we're, like, choosing characters to kill off? And so it came down to Gaius and Molu. Because I think we left, oh, you know what? We left the potion, or, like, the other room. We narrowed it down to 2 options of who we could give the vial to, and I think we did a coin flip, and it chose the mom. And so this one we're like, alright, we're gonna coin flip it, because Shur's reason, aside from it being a love interest, was that, like, his group has been very helpful to us, and if anybody they'd be the last, because we've already been, we can complete the quest without Rowan. We have the quest. But, Gaius's group has been actively helping us. So we left it up to a coin flip, and it was, I think it was whoever was chosen would be sacrificed, and it came up Molu's side. And so we were going to sacrifice Molu, and we hand over our 8 coins. It was really upsetting. I really wish we didn't leave it up to a coin flip. I sat there afterwards. I'm like, we really shouldn't have given up Molu. But I think it was like late at night, so my brain was gone. Actually, I don't think it was that late. I don't remember why. Okay. But the person behind the booth goes, "Oh, you've paid too much." She was like, "These are soul tokens, and the silverish white ones are worth 2 points, or two coins, or two tokens." And we were like, "Oh my god." So we took all of our coins back because we were trying to debate, and so she's like, she's just gonna hand you back all of the coins for you guys to debate on. And so we sit there, and I think it evened out, so we each had one person that didn't end up getting given up. So we were still worried these characters were gonna die. So I think Gaius was saved, Molu was saved, and oh, who did? I know Belios was given up. I think the teacher. Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, because I remember afterwards, because we actually learned the consequences of this immediately after. It was, she gave up her dad, so the teacher, Ivar's teacher, was given up, or no, was saved. And so we give these tokens, and I forgot what they said. It was like, they gave us all like a beer or something, and it was like, this is to help with the loss, or help you deal with with the loss and stuff. Or I forgot what they said. Ease the pain, something like that. Help with the loss. And so the door next to the bar table opens up, and we get filtered through there. And it's another rectangular hallway. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 suits of armor. I think the first one we inspected and there was nothing. Shiro inspected alone the other one, and it was a nat 1. And so the TM went, you think there's a person inside. And there was a mirror at the end of this hallway that we were looking at, and so we walk up, the others walk up to it and kind of take Shiro, and she's like, guys, I think there's a human. There's a person. And they're like, alright, you're done. So yeah, they go up to this mirror and they're looking at it, and I think, yeah, there was a noise behind them, and Shiro immediately, like, I think Shiro was looking behind them the whole time, and she sees one of the armors like step up or something. I forgot exactly how the scene went down, but at some point, we didn't even interact with the mirror. At some point, all 6 armors like kind of like stepped up and got up, and they turned into every single character that we had given up. So directly, the 2 closest armor on either side of the wall to us was Yvonne and Kiroi, the 2 Dragonborns. It was a gold and black Dragonborn, with Yvonne being gold, Kiroi being black. Oh yeah.
Taste is a luxury
Yeah.
you can afford. At this size.
And then I think behind them, or like farther from the wall from that, was, I think, no, King Rowan, I think, and Ivar's dad were at the back. So that left Ninefold clan, like 3 kobolds from the Ninefolds, and then who was the other one that was given up? What did Ivar had? Ivar had... There was his teacher, his dad. Oh my god, why am I blanking on the last one? Oh, Belios. So, Belios and the Ninefolds were in the... It went closest to us on either wall. It was the two Dragonborns, and then Belios and the teacher. And then behind that, it was Ivar's dad and King Rowan, who was this like 16-year-old kid. And we're like, oh my god, they're... it was clearly like these... It was like offset of the skill balance. What just happened with her foot? It was going... It was tippy-tapping. It was tippy-tippy-tippy-tap. So yeah. We enter combat because these guys are clearly like about to fight us. And I forgot what Vetvik used, but after like the first two turns, not full round, not full like top of the turn order kind of, but like after like a couple people went, it was Vetvik's turn, and I think he went all the way on the opposite end and kind of drove Ivar's dad. And it was funny because Ivar's dad like went all the way. I think his turn happened prior. He went all the way towards us and couldn't reach us, so his turn just ended after a movement. And so Vetvik went to the other side and drew King Rowan over to him, along with Ivar's dad just followed right after. So he literally like two top of the turn orders. He went like all the way to the right and then all the way to the left of the room. So he didn't even get to like start attacking till like the third top of the order. So yeah. Oh, thank you, game, for lagging. It's okay. It's okay, I promise. I want to look at... Oh, this is killing me. Wait, what was that machine? Oh, it's so far back. We can do it. What is this? Work disruption bomb. Hold on, I'm gonna... What?
Cookies.
What kind of cookies? I don't want them. Thank you for making cookies, though. Well, thank you, retracted. Is this lag gonna fix? There it goes. Alright. So, this was a really difficult fight. It was funny because for a while, I'm gonna kind of take this one by one, but for... What? Maybe in a bit. Oh god, now everybody's gonna be down here talking.
Normally, you'd never catch me dead eating that.
So, Vetvik drove only King Rowan and Ivar's dad over, and they were we found out afterwards that they were like the two weakest of the group, pretty much. Or two of the weakest, and oh my god. Game, it's not that bad, I promise. Can you... I can't even close it. This is horrifying. So, what do we do? Yeah. So, there was like, I think 5 or 6 of the top of the churn orders. Both, oh, the lag is back so fast. Dude, this is upsetting. Okay, you know what? This is severely upsetting. I don't know why Grounded wants to be this bad right now. So, 6 turns, both Vetvik, or no, both Ivar's dad and Rowan did not hit Vetvik at all. They kept missing and missing and missing. It was like, it was really bad. And partway through, we were cheering them on. We were like, come on, you can hit! Like, we were cheering for the opposite side. I think the one time they did hit, it quite literally, they literally, the first time they hit, it was like I think it was either a crit or a near crit in the like high damage on Vetvik and took him out. And we are like, oh my god. Never mind. Keep going back to missing. I think my character went down a total of like 4 times or something. Because we had some good, I don't think we had good berries left, but Ivar had healing hands and stuff. Oh no, we did have good berries. He had, we had some good berries that we were able to like pop into people's mouths as a bonus action to like get them back on 1 HP. And then Ivar, we determined that healing hands or whatever paladins get. He had like 15 of those because we were at level 3 and oh my god, I'm sorry about the background noise.
Where's your turtle?
What? What turtle? I didn't even know the dog had a turtle. I cannot wait till I'm back in college. So yeah, we determined that the healing hands or whatever was going to be a bonus action. It was an action at the moment to heal any more than 1 point. It was a bonus action because it's like you could run past, do a quick like slap on the back and like quickly heal. Any longer you'd have to like sit there and do. So like Ivar just kept like slapping people and getting them up. It was a tough battle. We kind of almost didn't win had Ivar not. I think we might have been just out of good berries or we were almost out of good berries and Ivar went down. And the only reason they got back up and like because my character was down, I think I think it was Ivar and someone else was down, and the other person was at like 1 HP. And the only reason why we think we won was credited to that during the death saving throws that Ivar made, they made one success, and then like nat 20 for their next roll. I think there might have been a fail somewhere in there, but they had one success prior, and then they did a nat 20. And at least in the rules that we made, is that nat 20s for a death saving throw means that you're back up on 1 HP. So there was that, and then I think it took out like one of the hardest enemies. So I think in order, the biggest stats for the 2 Dragonborns, we took a hot minute to get those out. And then I think my character went over, I think after getting both Dragonborns down, or at least one of them down, went over to Vetvik and started helping with killing Rowan and Ivar's dad. And then during that, the Ninefolds, they weren't even the strongest, but they just kept like beating the heck out of Ivar. Like, it was pretty bad. They were really bad. So we very, very barely get a win out of that. Oh my god, not this stupid leaf. We very barely get out of that. I mean, we still had some stuff to spare. So we weren't dead in the ground, near miss, but it almost was a TPK, which is total party kill. And the game is lagging. Bam bam bam. Can you not lag? Okay, there it goes. Sorry, my random noises. So yeah, it was almost a TPK, but we did make it out. And I think we long rested before anything else. Yeah, I think we just straight long rested because we were so low and it was pretty bad. So we did that, and then we go to the mirror, and I think, oh my god, please game. It's like good for a bit. It's always, it's the menus. It's the menus. They need to fix the lag on it. I think their update from the 6 or whatever said that it was supposed to fix a lot of the UI update or issues, but obviously it wasn't like a full fix or like it was just like to temporarily like hopefully fix some of the issues with the lag and stuff, but I haven't really noticed much of a difference, so doesn't really look like it's done much. Oh my god, I don't know what they're complaining about. So, oh my god, this thing is huge. Alexa, N! You can stay over there. So yeah. I'm gonna go up here before they spot me through a window. So we just barely got out of that. We long rested, and then we all go up to this mirror, and Vetvik inspects it, and he like reaches his hand through, and he feels a hand. And according to his DM, it was very familiar. And he pulls out this little girl. So we had actually, we were talking about our characters before the campaign started. And I remember being in the room when his player was writing some of it. So I recognized out of character this person being someone from his backstory. And I think, the way that in character, the way he acted, like, there were some ladybug buttons on Vetvik, and this girl had the same buttons, and so it was, like, clearly this was somebody he knew. I think, like, immediately he hugged her and, like, started crying or something, and then my character was like, And so, they're on the ground crying, and my character goes up to this mirror. Oh, that's the roach. And she reaches in, feels the hand, and pulls out her dad, which is Thurkir. So it was really funny because the players saw Shiro's sister first, which was a black dragonborn, and Shiro's white dragonborn, and then her dad is a black and gold dragonborn. And so they were like, "Whose goddamn white baby is this?" Which I don't know what the meme's from, but. Yeah. And they just kept quoting that. I was like, oh my god, you guys. So, we... for the record, I did give them out of characters, like, her mom is white, don't worry. And they're like, oh, okay. They kind of figured it, but... I was like, it's not like an adoption or like some backstory thing. Although I think her village does have a mutation where they can give, they have two mutations actually. One is the wings, because a lot of the village has wings because I wanted wings on my Dragonborn. But another one was that it was actually relevant to this story in the village. But it was basically two Dragonborns of any color could give birth to a baby who is not the same color as them. So yeah. But anyways, there was, what was it? So yeah, she pulls out Thurkir and she's like, "Oh my god, Dad!" And they're on the ground crying, and Ivar pulls out his mom, who I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember the name of, but she was really nice. I'm supposed to go over to the side more. Is that bigger? I think this is one of the bigger... Yeah, this is one of the bigger mounts. I'm gonna put that there. I have Scorpion. Oh no, I should go to tab 1 first. I have this. I have that. I have the Orb Weaver over there. Do not have Larva. So yeah. She pulls out her, or Ivar pulls out his mom, and everybody's just like take a moment like, "Oh my god, Mom and Dad." I think eventually at some point like that initial stuff dies down, and like all the parents are like, "How long has it been?" And Ivar says it's been 30 years. Oh my god, this lag, please. Okay, well, Ivar says it's been 30 years. Shiro says it's been 9 years, and I don't think Vetvik gives a time frame. Yeah, I don't think Vetvik actually gives a time frame, or he did and I just don't remember. So after the initial introductions, they're like, "Oh my god, how are you here?" And at least the answers that Shiro's and Ivar's parents gave was that it was like all dark, and then they just felt like they could go to them. They felt their presence and they could reach out or something. So clearly, Ivar's and Shiro's parents had a concept of that they were dead. Marigold either did and just didn't say anything, or didn't, because she was only like 10 years old. She was baby. And they kind of have their, like, it's a cute little moment of introduction of who everybody is. Vetvik I think Vetvik gave like a nat 20 on trying to like braid hair while Ivar was teaching him. So Tam went, you never have to roll to braid hair again. We're like, "Oh my god." So you want outside, dog? This lag is killing me. I want to cry. Okay. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. So, initial introductions happen, and we're like, "Oh my god." Yeah, the dam's like, "You never have to braid hair again. You never have to roll to braid hair again. You now, like, have a proficiency in braiding hair." It was really funny. And then, I think the mirror, after a bit, faded into, like, the doorway. I think it was still misty, but it was, like, I think it was more of a doorway now, and we stepped through. And we entered this room. I don't remember. There was like this flower and skull symbol on the floor and ceiling. The wall directly in front of us was it was a carving or like a it was like symbols, and on it, or there was a big symbol of like it was a like a drawing or like carving of what was it? Zoe and Ta. And they were kissing. But so there was two circular like holes up above each of them. And I think Toss was in yellow and So was in black. And each color represented like which they were the god of at the moment. So we were in the era of Zoe, where Zoe was representing life with the yellows. However, this carving was the opposite. I hit the mic, sorry. There's two doors on either side. There's life and death representing doors, and Shiro goes over to the right door, which is representing, like, they both examine it. Shiro examines that it's a death door, and she opens it, and it's a wall of water. And the other one gets open, and it's a grassy field, and immediately Shiro's like, I think let's do the grassy one first. So we go into the grassy one. It's this bright field. Oh, it was like very bright sunlight, like blinding bright, and the team is like the sunlight reflects off of Shiro, and it's nobody can see for a second. She's like another sun, pretty much. Because the joke was that she was so white. Because I, in real life, am very pale, so they were making fun of how Shiro was white and how it reflected me, who was also pretty much paper white. I say was, I mean is. Dog! Let me take this dog. I've been yapping so much. This is a temple. Keep in mind the perspective of this. This was split between 2 days, with the first session, is it lagging? No. With the first session being 12 hours long, like literally almost midday to midnight. And then we picked up in the morning, so like 11 to 7. So it was like, or maybe it was 11, I think it was 11 to 8 or something around that. So it was 19 hours total to get through this temple. Spoiler alert, we did in fact get through. Otherwise I would have opened up with, oh my god, I had my first D&D no. So it's a grassy field, and then yeah, there's mountains in the background, there's a forest. I think immediately Ivar is like detecting for any like magical stuff, because clearly we need to get whatever fits these orb slots. What the frick? Okay. Yeah, clearly we need to get whatever fits in these orb slots. Oh, is that my phone buzzing? That might have been. Anyways, yeah, so they're doing some ritual to detect like poison and, or not poison, like magical stuff. And Shiro and her dad go over, and they go into the forest. I think Vetvik and Marigold. Oh, yeah, so the kid was Marigold. I forgot if I mentioned her name. So Vetvik and Marigold are playing cards or whatever.
Could use some lemon slices.
And
Drinkable.
Shiro and Thurkir stumble upon this like camp, or like this fireplace, and there's there's 2 rings of stumps around this. What was it? There was just, I think there was like 5 stumps closest to the fire, and then like another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 around that. And so each of the first stumps around the fire had a symbol on it. And it was a dragonborn symbol, an elf, an orc, a human. Actually, I have a picture of, because we made we were drawing on the map with like all of our notes, so I have it actually written down. So there's an orc, dragonborn, elf, human, and kobold. We're like, oh my god, we sit here and nothing really happens. So we're like, all right. I forgot what the campfire. There was a carving on the campfire, but it was basically tied to, we were supposed to, like, it was tied to their creation stories. Previously, I forgot if I mentioned, but Gaius had told us about the creation stories of people in the continent and how every race had a creation story tied to them as the game starts lagging. There it goes. Are these all the mounts? I feel like I'm missing something. So we knew yeah, she's outside. We knew the majority of them. I think the only one we couldn't figure out at the moment was the... Oh no, one of them was a Triton. No, it wasn't. Yeah, there was a Triton. I'm sorry. There were 6 stumps around the fire. One of them was a Triton. And so Orc we knew as stone. Dragonborn we knew as... I ran a history check. It was in fact a scale. We were pretty confident on that. Elf we knew was wood. Human we knew was earth. And then Kobold we ran a history check. And that was dragon blood. And Triton we didn't know. Nobody could make a check on it. Or no one could figure it out. But we were pretty confident it was something to do with water. So we're going around, and Vetvik, like, there was one tent nearby, and Shiro goes in there, and there's like a bucket of water. Oh, no, there's a bucket, and then there's some seeds. So we're going, oh, we have to make them! And this starts us going around and starting the task of making all these people. Vetvik grabbed the water, and he was like, oh, I can go get some water, and maybe we'll figure out what to do with that. He goes to the river, and he puts the bucket of water in there. And the DM was like, you pull up a man. And we're like, huh? After the initial, like, confusion, it was like, the DM went, oh, it's a naked Triton. All the creations, obviously we did this. All the creations were naked. We gave them clothes, don't worry. And I think it was on the way back, the Triton was like, what is my name and what am I? And I think by that point they just got back. And we discussed, and we decided to name them Vox. And we asked them, oh, what do you want to be? What do you think feels right? And they went, I think I want to be, or I can do stuff with magic. And the other two debated, and there was like, oh, we think you'd be good as a druid. I was in the bathroom for a part of it, so I don't exactly know, but they did come to a conclusion it was that he would be best as a druid. That's a ladybug. And then I think next was, oh, Ivar started planting these seeds and poured like some of the water that they had left over from the river. Because I think Vetvik refilled the bucket afterwards. And Ivar planted the seeds and it started to grow. Not quickly, so we had to wait on that. Shiro and her dad went out. Starting with Thurkir, her dad. He went to go chop a tree. And he just was getting low rolls. And DM's like, yeah, he can't do it. And I think Ivar went over and like very quick, like easily cut down this tree. It's like, oh my god. Uh, and literally, I think as the tree falls, it like turns into an elf. I forget. I think it was an elven woman, and we named her Ailray. I think it was Ailray, and decided she would be best as a sorcerer. Shiro. Oh god. Okay, hold on. Let me bring my dog. Here you go. Sit. Sit. Aurora, sit. Nope, sit. Sit. Aurora, sit. Good girl. So we are Shiro. Shiro goes and finds like this little cliffside, like this rocky cliffside, and she sees there's a cave there. And she goes in. We were very scared about having, because we were like, oh, we need dragon blood and dragon skills, which nobody knew, but Shiro did have a dragon skill in her inventory. But she didn't mention anything about it. Because they still needed dragon blood as well, so she was like, okay, I'm gonna hold off on telling them. Did I forget to put the aphid mount anywhere? I think I did. That would have been so sad, unless it's up here. No, aphid wasn't here. So yeah, she goes into this cave, and the DM's like, oh. I think she rolled perception or something, and it wasn't that high. But the DM's like, clearly this is like a den. And Shiro, like, she had a torch, and Shiro's like, I was like, Shiro immediately turns around and leaves. I didn't mention this. So when they were first introducing, like when everybody was first talking to their parents and loved ones, Thurkir asked, how long has it been? And she said 9 years. And I think Thurkir was like, oh, the dragon, like, my death wasn't your fault. And he mentioned how, he basically alluded to how the village was attacked by this dragon. So everybody learned that, Shiro's village got attacked by a dragon, and Thurkir probably died to it. And then she was like, oh, it, like, took down a quarter of the village. So a quarter of the village was taken down by this dragon that Shiro's dad clearly also died to. So that's also why I had Shiro, like, turn and run out, because she had experiences with going into a cave and there was a dragon. So he was like, I'm not gonna fuck with that. So yeah. She turns tail and waits for everybody else to join up with her. And in that time, who is it? Or she before she joins up, she just, like, cuts a little bit of a rock from the cliffside instead, and from it comes, like, this full orc woman. She, like, hits the ground with her fist. It was really cool. We rolled for how hot she was. I think this was... No, we rolled for how hot everybody was, but she was... I think she was a nat 20 or, like, a 19, and we're like... I think she was 19, and we were like, she's smoking hot. She was orc out of 10. But we named her Gaia, which was like a female version of Gaius. And we decided she was a barbarian. So what do we have? We had Triton. We had... Oh. It might have been after the dragon. It might have been before. I think it was before. The... Like... the seed over a couple different phases, like a little head poked out, and then like, or like part of a head, and then like a full like person's head was popping out. So we dug him up. It was a human. I think this was the last edition now that I think about it, but we were like, what if it was like this group of like baddies, and then like, not baddies, but like this group of like cool people and all these different races, and then just Greg the human. We initially determined that he was going to be a... I think we determined he was going to be a fighter or something, but we were like, actually, you're Bard. Because we could swap the roles, and we thought it would be really funny if he was a Bard. So he ended up becoming a Bard.
I'm a well-respected artisan.
What? Increase damage against an insect. Wait, what? Okay. So yeah. If we have Greg the Bard now. So we go, everybody gathers, I think we left Marigold and Ivar's mom behind, because clearly this wasn't like a fight that they would be able to get into, because they weren't fighters in any way. They weren't any kind of like, I mean, 10-year-old and then like elven woman who I don't think like fought a thing in her life. So do I not have any acorn shells? I think I do. It's not close enough. But so I think it was Vetvik and Ivar went first up to the dragon, and we determined that the two dragonborns were kind of threatening, so they like hung behind a little bit. And we determined that dragons could, at least this one could speak, or we determined that dragons were likely very often seen speaking common. What is that?
Should I give it to her?
Is it a dog toy? Yeah. Then yeah. You hell. What? Where did her turtle even go? Well.
So I'm trying to replace some of the toys that.
Me.
Because there's some toys in here that need, like, she's almost destroyed bits. This is something done.
Yeah. I mean, it could also just be used as a rope afterwards that she can tug on.
Well, I was thinking of taking this part off. Because she likes the rope and she likes this too.
She's actually played with that. I've seen her on the ground and she'll like connect it and pop it off.
What?
That middle part?
Connected it?
Yeah.
Oh, use the rope.
I think so. All I hear is that stupid thing being popped up all the time. She'll play with it.
But I know she likes this part and this part, so I was thinking of just cutting it and then it's a tug of war rope.
She still plays with it.
The mouse needs to go.
Why?
It lost its legs a long time ago.
That doesn't mean it's broken. There's still the rest of the mouse she can get to.
She hasn't played with this in a while. I'm not getting rid of it, but if she eats the
Was that Nova's first toy?
No, Nova's first toy was
Or I know
that
Nova had.
golden lion.
Oh, the farting lion.
The teeth need to go.
The what?
The baby teethers.
She actually, I would be careful about that because she was just playing with with one of them literally yesterday, and she would not let go of it.
She likes, but her
She loves
got
them.
the adult teeth now.
She still loves them. She'll play with them.
Is gone. This she is
Yeah,
like chew the shit out of it.
those bones can go.
Because some of them she's too big for, and it's not made for her teeth anymore.
Hmm. Yeah. So,
This is, she hasn't moved, but she popped a hole in it. So it's just gonna be destroyed the next time she plays with it.
mm-hmm.
She's missing the other chew bone to this one. I don't know where it went to.
The
but I'm
brown
pretty sure
one?
she get rid of this one.
Is it the brown one?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I saw that a couple days ago, actually.
I know she brought one outside.
It might have been that one. Oh, there's the bonefish or whatever underneath the hutch.
Yeah, she likes that one. It just gets gross and I have to wash it. Because she chewed the shit out of it, so
Yeah.
all the hair gets caught onto the...
Chewed bits. Oh god.
The amount of toys that I've had to replace are the dang dollars.
Hmm.
No, what's the thing? I can't tell you how many toys I've had to replace with the dang dollars.
Where do I need to go? The acorns.
Stop playing with toys.
And Nova still played with toys. She chewed on them. She didn't play with them or tug on them as much, but she would chew on them.
She didn't play tug of war as much as Aurora did.
But
She got past the point where she played tug of war and kind of carried it around her.
yeah, she liked them still.
Like, we bought her with that big can of me. She destroyed it, but Nova hardly touched it.
That's because Nova liked carrying it around and chewing on it and not just playing tug of war with it.
Well, she got to the point where she stopped when we touched it.
Well, yeah. Because no one was also home to play tug of war.
No, yeah, they get old. They lose
I know.
interest. It's not fun anymore. They don't have as much energy. Aurora will get to that point too, where she'll stop wanting to play tug of war as much as they do.
Mm-hmm. Woo! Mm.
Yep, there's a little lamb chop. This was Nova's.
Yep. A lot of the toys were Nova's, I think. I know the mouse was.
Yeah, mouse was.
Farting lion. The lamb chop. Lamb chop has been with Nova for a while too.
Yeah, that was one that the Owens gave her when she came home.
When she came home.
Yeah, when we first got
Yeah.
Nova.
I'm surprised Aurora hasn't chewed it up.
There's no squeaker in it. She carries it around, but it's not really that fun.
Hmm.
Nova destroyed so many goddamn soccer balls. Soccer balls and frisbees. Cannot tell you how many soccer balls and frisbees that dog destroyed.
She did chew up a lot of soccer balls.
Huh?
I said she did chew up a lot of soccer balls.
That was her number one.
Well, she's a dog.
Has she even laid on her bed in the last couple of weeks?
I've seen her there a couple times, yeah. Actually, yes. Almost every night she'll go up to it for a while and then she'll get off at some point.
Go back to her chicken spot.
Yep. She shifts around a lot, but she does in fact use that bed. I've seen her use it.
I know the blanket is too hot for her right now.
Well, yeah. The bed's also probably too hot for her.
Ooh, she likes it.
Well, it's a new toy.
It's also made by Nerf, so it's supposed to be durable.
Mm.
Level 4.
Didn't she, like, destroy something that was supposed to last for weeks in, like, a day? What?
Oh, this is just. I didn't get. It's like this. It's all hard, like nylon,
Yeah.
which she doesn't want those kind of toys. They don't squeak.
Rated fully 6. Dura chew, power chew. Where does this say the chew level? Oh, chewing style extreme.
Yeah.
That's a level 4.
Yeah, but the problem is if you go up, they're like that, you know that fish bone? That's all they are.
Yeah,
They're not
Nylabone.
squeaky toys, they're not... Would she like stuff that squeak? Like this. Damn it, I wasn't quick enough. Yeah, see?
Yeah, it's that like or like rubber.
Yeah, it's like the rubber. So the rubber stuff is like 2 level 4.
Mm.
2 level 5 is like this stuff right here.
That's 4, because it's extreme.
You know, they have. I didn't go for the 5 because we already had one of the 5s. You ain't getting it.
Why not?
I'm not giving her all the new toys today.
Oh, did you buy that today as well?
Yeah, because they were buy one get one 50% off.
Mm.
So I got her that. I got her the turtle. And I got her this and that.
What the frick? Oh, is that a bone? Yeah.
She's gonna destroy that in like an hour.
Oh yeah, this'll be gone in like seconds.
It's like 2 for hours.
I mean, it'll probably keep her attention for hours, but no more than a
the
day.
last one in 30 minutes. It didn't last no damn hour.
I mean, she still chewed on it for a while, like the little pieces.
You know what he's waiting for, right?
Someone to grab it.
Yeah. Joey!
Oh my god, don't. He's upstairs, he's not gonna come down. How about you try to grab it?
I want to see what he thinks. Joseph!
Oh my god.
Come here!
Because he's playing a game.
You all are always playing a game. There's
Mhm.
never not a time you're not playing a game.
What else are we gonna do? Sit here and twiddle
outside
our
and run
thumbs?
around.
I do go outside. I go outside at night.
Come here.
I'm right here, but apparently she wants you, even though she could do it herself.
What?
Go ahead and grab her new chew toy. See what she does.
Cat Emily? What? She doesn't seem the cat.
Literally leaning on the chair.
What?
She's not as growly as Nova was. Oh my god, Nova would
Nova?
growl.
She was.
If you go to touch her, she
Yeah, Nova would growl if you go to touch her as well. She's also in a position where she's not going to growl.
No, she's dug in.
Yeah. She's focused on just grabbing it right now.
It squeaks too. I got her 2 new toys and 2 new shoes.
Shoes?
Yeah, they're these. They're chew things.
The
but
chew
she's not getting
bones.
them right
Those don't look like shoes.
now. Chew! Chew! Hey, check out the trash.
Why can't Emily? I just put the thing in the dryer in the water in the shower.
Alright, fine.
In the shower?
I'll be hanging up the shower curtain and then watch it right there. Because I needed his chair, but he could just reach it without anything. Why is what? Here, give me this on the garage, bud.
Yeah. Alright. After... Okay. I didn't like that. I might go... I might go a half hour later, just because I've been gone both times pretty long. So, as I was saying... Dude, this is why I'm taking so long to tell this story, is because I keep getting interrupted. And then I don't remember where it was. So, we all go to the cave. Shiro and Thurkir are behind. Ivar and Vetvik in front. And we see this, like, clearly baby dragon at the end of the cave. And it's awake, it's looking at us. And they very respectfully go up, and they're basically like, oh. Like, we were being respectful, like, we were like, oh, we admire your strength and stuff. And we were like, we request a favor. And the dragon was like, what is that? And it's like, we require one of your scales and some of your blood. And the dragon's like,
Truly among
I
the
would,
finest
what will I get in return? And we're like, what do you desire? And it kind of motioned to a very, very small, like, coin pile. Like, clearly it was a baby. It's just beginning to grow its hoard. It was, like, gold. And so, I think... But we did have our money back. And I think we paid 10 gold each person. Yep, so we paid 10 gold each person, and... He, like, extended it. It was a blue baby dragon, and he extended his little tail, and I think Vetvik took some blood from it, just, like, very lightly, and then Shiro, I think she rolled, like, an 8, and so it was, like, a very crude job, but she did get it done, and she's like, sorry, which I'm gonna make up, or I'm gonna say it's because she doesn't have great experience with dragons. So she's probably, like, nervous about it. But yeah. So they get, as soon as, like, the blood comes out, we've got I think it was, like, a little kobold, and then as soon as we get the scale, a blue dragonborn appears from it. And so... Once I get this placed, I will be able to give the names in class. Oh, Blue Dragonborn. I was like, can we name it Rain and have it a fighter? Originally, it was supposed to be a paladin, but the DM was like, the classes don't really matter. And so we made it a fighter. That's also why we switched Greg's classes, because I wanted Rain to be a fighter, because I have a different campaign where my Dravik, and I've mentioned this, is basically a blue dragonborn with wings. And I was like, how funny would it be if this was, like, my character's backstory, because I didn't have a backstory for her
Could
yet.
use some lemon slices, but it's
And so I was like, we're just making her and her, like, pirate
expanding
crew,
my palate.
pretty much. So we had the blue one, or the dragonborn as Rain, who is a fighter, and then the kobold we named Snit, because we kept rolling to, like, look up, like, different, like, basic naming styles for the races, aside from the dragonborn, which we named Rain. And we named it Snit, and Vetvik's like, you know what, I could teach you how to be a ranger, or, like, something like that. So yeah, there was another kobold ranger. And then after that, we all sat on different logs. And everybody was talking, and I believe one of the characters, like, as the sun was setting, reached up and grabbed the sun out of the sky, and we were like, huh? He reached up, grabbed the sun out of the sky, and, like, handed it to, I think Shiro was the closest. I think this was Rain that did that. So they handed Shiro the, like, a sun token. And I can't remember if they made their way back. Oh no, there. I think there's like a door nearby that they went back into, and they were back in the room that they were meant to be in, or where they originally were with like those carvings. And so next up was this death door, which was water. Sorry, my nose itches. So this room was all water. We decided it was best to tie everybody's rope into a 150-foot rope and attach Vetvik and Ivar to it, because they are the only people in the group with dark vision. And so we sent them out, and they see this Triton off in the distance. I don't think it was anybody we knew. Yeah, it was like a random Triton, but he was panicking, and he was like clearly trying to cast a spell, and the dam's like, do you want to go back or do you want to wait a minute? And they're like, let's just wait, see what he does. He, like, as they're about to drown, he casts basically water breathing on him. I think one of the players rolled insight. It was clearly not like he wasn't trying to like attack spell. It was like to help them. So yeah, he did. Ooh, I want to see what this says. Nice. So he's like, what the heck? You guys aren't supposed to be down there. Or down here. And they're like, oh. He cut them off because they're like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, oh, are you guys here for the ceremony? And they go, yeah, but we have some of our party who would also like to attend as the game starts lagging. Please stop. Get me out of here. So yeah. Basically, he's like, oh, can you bring me back to them? And I can help you guys out. And so they bring him back, and he casts water breathing on everybody. And he leads everybody to this underwater city with a bunch of Tritons. And this is really bad. So we were joking, or I was joking right before this, that I was like, what if this is the funeral of the characters of like the Tritons we fought at the beginning of the game that we were deceived into thinking they stole this gem? What if it's the funeral for them? And lo and behold, there's this crowd, and there was the reason why I said that was because there was like five bodies, Triton bodies. Their feet, they were like kind of floating because obviously like I think Triton's bodies would float to the surface when they die. And so they had their feet buried in the sand, and they were like upward, like standing pretty much upwards, and their eyes were closed. And so that's why I said, what if this is a funeral for the characters we killed, not knowing who they were? So guess who it was a funeral for? The captain that spoke to us prior about, because as I said earlier, the Tritons helped taking down the water elementals at the beginning of the game. And we're like, what the heck? Why'd you steal this from us or something? Or like, oh, this was not, like, you're not, this crown is bad. The captain that spoke to us, that also knew we were on this journey, he was up there, and he was, like, they're having their funeral. So we're like, oh, it's been 2 months, so this is probably in the past. And so he gives the name of these 5 people, and he was like, oh, these people are, like, died protecting their town, or died protecting... I don't remember if a city died protecting their city or something. Okay, dude, Weevil, Nat, Naphid. Sorry. Basically died protecting their city. Am I missing Grub? I'm missing Grub. And oh god, please lag. I just need this place. Place it. Thank you. Oh my god. This is painful. Give it a second to catch up. There it goes. Alright. So. As he's talking about these people, he looks at us and he kind of like nods and just keeps talking. And afterwards, like, they're planting coral around because apparently, like, the coral will grow around them. Like, by planting, I mean, like, they like, kind of like, I think we looked it up and it was like they produce sexually or something. So they like release slime into the water. And then some produce like asexually. So I think it was like kind of like succulents question mark where they like get branches of them that get planted and they'll grow. I think that's how it was like. I don't 100% remember. So yeah. We after everything happens, after that happens, we like behind us we hear we hear Belios and he goes, "Oh my god," or something, or he basically is just like whatever he says makes us turn around and acknowledge him. We see Belios is like, "What are you guys doing here? You just left." And we're like, "Oh, we figured it was the right thing to do." Oh god. So, yeah. Please don't be. Okay. So we're like, yeah, we figured it was the right thing to do. And he was like, well, I'm glad you guys are here. And I don't think there was much to that conversation. And, like, clearly Shiro and Ivar were, not Shiro, Vetvik and Ivar were kind of unwilling to go up to the captain. So I was like, you know what? Shiro can go up and talk to him. So it was basically the same thing where she was like, oh, it felt like the right thing to do. And he's like, yeah. He said something else. And we didn't really know what to do. There was no, like, clear way to go. And I think we talked to the captain first and then Belios or something. Come on. Let me tell my story. Do I have any... I don't have any meat yet. Oh my god. Anybody else? So as I was saying, I think Belios motioned and was like, oh, by the way, I think that door is for you guys. And he, like, they motioned to this door. Aww. He motions to this door that's just, like, in the middle of the water. It leads to nowhere. And we're like, alright. We open it and it leads into... Where does it lead into? It leads into another room. And we go in. And we realize that this is... like, that we're in Navis. Like, behind us is, like, a whole crowd of people, and up front is this, like, up on some, like, ledge, it's, like... There's this body with, like, a blue, like, fabric over it, and a crown on it. And so we're like, okay, this is most likely Rowan's dad's funeral. Or, well, the previous king of Navis. Basically, long story short, that was confirmed. Rowan went up, said some words, and basically lit the body on fire, and as that was happening, he pulled the crown off the body and gave it to Fenris, who is his like second-hand person. I don't think I ever mentioned Fenris. And then Fenris put the crown on him. So, yeah. He was we learned prior that Navis was like split on half of them distrusted or didn't think that Rowan was right to rule, or like he shouldn't be ruling because he was just a kid. He was literally 16. And so yeah, like half the crowd was standing, half the crowd was bowing, and we were ready to throw hands. There was a line that gathered, and just people going up to say like some word or like put flowers on the body and talk to Rowan. And we went up. There was this guy like just like kind of like asking questions, like trying to be polite about it, but obviously clearly not trusting that Rowan would be able to lead. He's like, have you considered anybody else for this position? Are you sure you're fit to lead this kingdom or something? And then we were just like, I think at some point Ivar's like, all right, I think you're done. And I think he rolled like a really high roll for intimidation. So the guy was like, all right. And he backed off and left. And we went up and we were like, I think you'll be a great ruler, Rowan. And just said a couple words to him. Why is my character not moving? VitoTube, what are you doing? Ah, why aren't you picking up my microphone? Yummy. What the heck? Well, let me close it down and reopen it. Okay. There it goes. Is it popped up? There it goes. Let me just click that on off. So yeah, and at some point he goes, I think that door is for you guys. And we look and there's a door down the hallway and we go through it and we're on a beach. And I was like, who else do we know has died? And we were trying to think, and we didn't really know many other characters that were important that died. And I was like, did any of your guys' characters live on a beach? And both Ivar and Vetvik were like, no. And I was like, wait. Can Shiro look at the moon and, like, figure out the moon phase? And the DM told her it was a full moon. And there's something... I'm not going to say much because it hasn't been revealed, but there's something very specific that happened on a full moon to Shiro in the past. So it's like, oh, shoot. But we were told this was a region we didn't recognize. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not. And I was right. I think we were walking along the beach and nobody rolled high in perception except for Shiro, who I think got a quite literal nat 20 on it. And I was like, oh my god.
Truly among my finest men.
Oh my god. So, she hears this, like, shifting sound, and it's clearly a heavy object just, like, being dragged across the sand, and she rounds, like, some, like, grassy area, and she sees a boat being pushed. And I think there's, like, I don't know, she doesn't notice this yet. I won't say anything yet. Oh my god. And she recognized the person, what? Okay. She recognizes the person dragging the boat as Gaius but he's younger, because it's baby Gaius. Oh, I already made the aphid mount. Need Weevil. I need Weevil and 2 grubs. But as I was saying, so she sees baby Gaius and she kind of, I think she scared him a little bit and was like, oh no. But she's like, hey, do you need help pushing this boat? And he was like, you know what? I didn't expect to see anybody else out here, but like, yeah, I'd love to help. And she looks in the boat, and she sees there's a body in it, like some human body in it, and she goes, "Ooh." And so she's like, "Oh, I think he was like, what are you guys doing out here?" And she was like, "Oh, just traveling through with my party." And she kind of like motions to the party down the beach, and they all help him push his boat. It was so sad, and he was like, I'm really glad you guys are out here, because he was like, none of my village would like come like see him off with me, because I guess like from when we got the village frowned upon, because he's a half orc and the rest of his village is an orc. It's an orc village, so he was like, I was kind of an outcast, and my father was. So we were like, oh, we're glad to be out here and help you with this and stuff. And he was just talking about his mom and stuff. And eventually we get like the boat to like the last push, and he's like, can I do this part by myself? And we go, yeah, sure. And he struggled a little bit, but he did get the boat pushed off. And he pulled out this bow, and Vetvik, like, he clearly didn't know how to use this. He was struggling, so Vetvik went up and helped him use the bow. Got a pretty high roll, so he lit it without a problem. It's like a Viking funeral kind of thing. If it like it's where the boat goes out and they set an arrow on fire and they shoot the boat and it lights up. So like one of those basically. And at some point they're standing there just watching this boat, and Gaius like as this moon is setting, he grabs the moon and gives the token to Shiro. So it was just showing us like all these different things that happened in the past that we didn't get to see or haven't seen. We haven't gotten confirmation on this yet, because we ended right after the temple finished. But we're like, we don't know if this has affected their memories. So literally first thing I want Shiro to do after, like since they're out, is like,
the team she made up was terrible. They didn't win a single fucking game.
okay. I want Shiro to like go up and like pull Gaius aside and be like, hey, like I'm sorry no one was, or I'm sorry about what happened about your dad and stuff. And kind of like very, very like kind of carefully like bring up the topic and ask if we were there, because I want to know if this has affected like their memories and like different scenarios. But anyways, she gets a moon token and another door appears, and he's like, I think that door is for you guys. And we open it up and we get filtered back into the original room. I didn't mention this before because I completely forgot, but the door we came through on the room with it's like the door and then like the flower and skulls on the floor. There's Zoe and Toss kissing, the two circles, and the life and death door. So we're back in there. The door that we came through had closed behind us, and on that door was an outline of Zoe and Toss. So Shiro gets on her dad's shoulders because I guess it was too tall, even though Shiro's like 7 feet tall. She gets on her dad's shoulders, and she puts both tokens into the slots, and they're like blinding, they're like glowing, and Zoe and Toss kind of like come to life, and I think they look at us, and then they like turn to each other and they like start blushing. We're like, oh my god, we walked in on their little like kissing scene. But so yeah, they take the, because we completely forgot about this, but them kissing, it apparently like brought the sun and moon into the world. It was kind of like their children. And so they took each respective token and carried it to the other side of the room, and a crack formed, almost as if you could like rotate part of the room. And so after a couple like minutes trying to discuss like what are we supposed to do here, I had Shiro go over and I was like, can she like push on it or like the other side of the room that's cracked? And she's like, yeah, and it rotates. We go, oh, we have to rotate it. 'Cause before, hold on, before we even figured that out, like Zoe and Toss had walked to the other side, dropped off the moon and sun, and then when they went to we asked them like, hey, can you, like, I think Ivar politely asked him, like, we need you over here, please. He's like, you don't want to upset, like, the gods and goddess of this temple, and so we were like, could you guys possibly, like, meet up in this place? But when they did, their outlines didn't match up with them, and I guess I don't know if they couldn't really cross each other or something, but so they walked back to their other sides and just sat down, and that's when I had Shiro like rotate it, and it was like, it's almost as if a day has passed, and we go, oh, so it's like time is passing. So that's when we figured it out. I think we had to run a religion check and be like, that's like 1,000 days, or I think it was 1,000, yeah, every 1,000 days or whatever, or maybe years. They switch. So we had to bring them to the era we were currently in. And so I think it was like not even like the first 100 or 50 we rotated, and we were starting to get tired. I forgot to mention this. Over the duration of this, every like time, I think when we first entered that room, we felt a little bit off. And then in the grassy room, we felt a little bit sicker. And then in the water room, we felt even more sicker. And now we're like really tired and sick. Because when we first left the room with the vials, there was these plants and we had to make a con save or something. I think it was I think it might have been, yeah, I think it was a con save. And whoever got higher rolls was healed. So I think Molo was healed, but Shiro got like an 8 or something really low. And she took a couple points of damage. But so we were like, oh, we got sick from these plants. And like we just have to like make it through this temple as fast as we can before we get sick and die from this. So we start rotating, but we're struggling, and Zoe and Toss sees what we're doing. They look at each other and smile, and then they start rotating it with us, like because it's really cool. It's like pictures on a wall moving. So they're rotating the sun and moon with us, and eventually we see, I think Zoe's death. So we see Toss like start to get weak and like fall down or whatever, and Zoe disappears and reappear, or I think they walk across over to Toss. Picks them up and disappears through like a crack in the wall or something. And we're like, oh no! And then they both emerge on the opposite sides with Toss now in like black themed outfit and Zoe in yellow. So they switched. Because it was supposed to be like one would carry the other to the afterlife sort of thing. So that happens, and then they join in the door. Okay, please. Oh shoot, this is with the rest of the... I'm gonna run. So yeah. They join in the center door. I can't remember if they kissed again or something, but they were there, and the door basically opened up for us. But at this point, our characters, Vetvik, Ivar, and Shiro, were like pretty much too sick to stand. And so each our respective loved ones like picked us up and started carrying us. I need water. And like brought us we were like being brought down this hallway,
Could
and
use some lemon slices,
we were
but
told
it's
like
drinkable.
we were brought into this room with some sconces, and it was like this gold door, and we were brought into this circular room, and we were brought into like the middle-ish area, and we were laid there, and it was like all different reactions to it. Like I think Marigold was like, oh, we were supposed to play with each other more. What the heck did I just do? Okay. Marigold was like, we were supposed to play with each other. And Vetvik was like, we did, but she was like, oh, but I wanted to play with you more or something. And Ivar's mother was like very sad, and Shira's dad was like just frantically like asking people like, what was that? Oh no.
Giddy up!
Shoot.
We'll try later.
Oh shoot, that just killed me.
It had a good life.
Had a good life. Oh, that's my shield that broke. Okay, yeah. So Shira's dad was like, oh, like he was asking around, and he was like just not accepting that like Shira was sick and stuff. And if you remember earlier, remember how I said we found the doppelgangers in the center of the room? At some point our characters were weak and kind of were like in and out of consciousness. And at some point we heard the door near us open, and like Shiro, in a moment of recognition, like sees her other self and goes, I understand, I got to see him again. And like we had chills. Like we as the players were getting like chills from this. It was so cool. And so they're in and out of consciousness. It was really funny because it's like, oh, you hear like yourselves like fumble around the room. You're talking to this person. It was like you hear one of them be like, "Shio, don't eat that." What? What? What about her?
She's in the kitchen.
So as I was saying, um, basically, they hear them eventually come to the conclusion that this woman needs to be saved. And I was sitting there like, oh no, shoot, did we choose wrong? But it was like we were told this vial is only for one person, so it's like, I don't think that's the right, we were the right answer. So we were told at some point we like felt ourselves falling, and we entered this water, and like it kind of like a fade to black thing. And at some point we awake. There's this little girl who, I think Vetvik wakes first, and there's this little girl who, like, feeds Vetvik some of this well water that they're in. They're in a well, and he immediately feels better. He doesn't feel sick anymore. He doesn't feel anything. She's like, thank you for saving my mom. And I think Ivar is awoken next, and the woman's like, thank you for bringing back my family. And then eventually she shows back up. Hold on. So we did ask the DM this afterwards, but it was like, if there was no right answer to that room, whoever we chose would be at that well with us. So yeah. Ooh, I don't like that mosquito. So yeah, we all feel better, and we all take a, I don't know if we long rested. I think we long rested or short rested. We did something. I think we long rested just to, like, heal back. Or I think some of the water, we rolled, I think, a d8 or, like, plus con or something, and the DM was like, you get that in temporary HP, and we go, oh boy. Hold on. Get out of here! Okay. No, the beak! The beak! But let me just trash this. So yeah, we get temporary HP, and we see this door, and we're like, oh boy. Like, clearly this is, like, I think it's calling me. Actually, let me answer this real quick. Okay, as I was saying. What's it saying? Okay. What? I'm just gonna talk until I talk about the end of the temple, just so that I get that done. So yeah.
This is a luxury you can afford. At this size, anyway.
I think, I know somewhere, I think it was one of the people there was like, you're almost at the end. There's just this one, like, it was basically like, we were told you're pretty much almost at the end. There's like another test though. And we're like, great. So, we enter this room, and all that's in it is 3 coffins at the end. It's a pretty large room. And it was like, return to me once more as you have, but hold on for as long as you can. And it didn't say exactly that. It was a lot cooler, but we basically, so there's this, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned Wolf Rush before. There's this thing that that the group does outside of this campaign, where if we don't get enough combat, we run what's called Wolf Rush, where we fight wolves until we die. We also came up with we're also doing Worm Raid, or want to do Worm Raid, which is where we fight these poisonous centipede worms. Basically centipedes, stats of centipedes, but they look like worms. And so we came to the conclusion that that's very similar to what we had to do. We had to probably fight and then fight as long as we could and then get into these coffins before we died. So I think the first one was like we fought 4 centipedes. And then it was 2 imps. And then it was like this fire sludge. And then it was like this forest grump thing. Not forest grump. Living something, living grump, living thing. It was like a plant monster thing. He was immune to like lightning damage, we found out. And then after that was a dark pudding, I think we identified it as. And then we fought an owl bear. Oh no, it was after the imps. I think it was the fire jelly, but then there was a Quetzal. Yeah, and we were like, why is that's a dinosaur? There's the fire guy. I think the Quetzal was after the fire, or I think it was called like fire ochre or something. And then it was a pteranodon, and then it was the black pudding, and then it was the forest crumb. It was just going up in fight class. So if anybody knows D&D, whatever the challenge rating is for all of them, it's going up in that order. So I might be slightly out of order here. And then we got to an owl bear, and then we got to a drider. So during this fight, obviously we got down a couple times. We got up. Actually, Ivar got down, but it was like a crit, I think. So it was the equivalent of 2 fails or something. Or oh no, he was the only one with healing on him. So like very early on, we were like, oh, we're like this fight is going to be short-lived because we had no form of getting him back up. It was just he rolls until he's dead or alive. But I had inspiration, so I forced a reroll. I forced the monster to reroll because DM's like, yeah, you can do that. You can force an attack roll by an enemy to be rerolled. So I did that, and they missed, and we're like, okay, good. So the fight lasted very long, or I think they said, oh no, the forest, I can't remember what it was. The tangled monster that was immune to lightning, was right before this strider, and the DM was like, yeah, we found after, like, the DM thought we were dead there, so we made it 1 monster past what they expected. And we basically got confirmation this is what we were supposed to do, because they were like, it's so nice not having to really worry about your guys' health and just, like, let loose. Because they're like, a lot of the monsters they use in their own campaigns is just, it's just like humans and stuff. So they're like, I can just like let loose and throw whatever I want at you guys until you guys are done. So at the Drider, it's very clearly like this is getting to the end of the fight. I think we got it down to 15 HP, we were told afterwards. But not long after Ivar went down that first time, before when I forced a reroll, my own character was down and forced to make a death save, and DM was like, you guys have an ability now that you're downed. Every turn you can move 15 feet and make a death saving throw. And we're like, oh. So once we get down, we're supposed to move it to we're supposed to move over to the coffin. So I think when we realized that, we were like on the other side of the room from the coffins, and it was like 3 turns to make it over there. So the fight kind of naturally took us over there. I'm not finding any grubs. The fight kind of naturally took us over there, and at a certain point, I think it was after Ivar had like no healing left pretty much, Shiro got down and moved into one of the coffins. I think she took the middle just because like, just so that anybody on the farther sides wouldn't have to go as far. And then Ivar was next to go down, I'm pretty sure, and so he moved to a coffin. And then Vetvik, so he moved to a coffin, and Molu, could fit in the same coffin as Vetvik, because Molu was a very small drake, just slightly bigger than Vetvik now, I'm pretty sure. And so they both went in there, and I was like, what if we roll, what if we die in this, like we fail all 3 death saves, and like that determines whether or not our character makes it out of this. Vetvik, I think the player, it was really sad because Vetvik was the only one of all 3 of us that failed all 3, or that ended up actually dying. And so Ivar's player was like, I can only imagine, like, we hear Molu like crying and like whimpering and stuff, and it was so sad. And I think the thought of that for Vetvik's player just like put him completely out of it. Like giving up Molu already put him out of it, but like the scare of giving up Molu, but then also just like the thought of that I think really took him out of it. Um but after everybody else stabilized, the Drider was sniffing around the coffins, and after we all stabilized, it raised up its legs and pierced through the coffins, killing everybody. And by that point, dinner was called, and so we went down there, and the DM was like, I think we had 10 minutes till dinner, so the DM was like, I need to take all of you individually and talk to you, and we went, oh boy. Um, so after dinner, we all went up one by one. Vetvik was first, Shiro was next, Ivar was last, and we all spoke to the DM. Give me like 2 seconds. Something. Oh, well, give me 2 more seconds out of that. My nose hurts. Why do you hurt? Is that a pimple? Oh, that's a pimple. I'll have to get that in a sec. Alright. By a sec, I mean after I finish yapping. So. Okay, hold on. I highly doubt it. But I do know for a fact one of the players has found my streaming channel. So if Vetvik, if you're watching this at any point in time, Ivar, if you're watching at this any point of time, please skip past this part because you will get spoiled, and no, don't. So I go in. I want to say, actually, before even that, like we were talking about how Vetvik's player looked very sad and just distraught. When he came out of it, he like and joined everybody back downstairs. He was smiling and happy, and we're like, oh boy. So obviously it wasn't too bad. I was talking to Ivar's player, and there's this session that them and the DM watch. I think it's called Never After. I think Brennan Lee Mulligan runs it. I'm pretty sure. And I think they did a similar thing where it was basically like all the players died, and they talked to the gods individually. So I went up expecting that, and lo and behold, that's basically what happened. So my character wakes up in, I think, this like kind of grassy field, and in front of them is Thurkir, the dragonborn that, or her dad that was with her for the temple. So he was like, "Oh, you're so brave and you've done so well." And he was like, "Zoe and Toss want to meet you, but before that, I have someone I want you to meet." So before all this, when Shiro first met her father again from that mirror, she asked, "Have you seen Mom?" Uh, and he goes, "No, I haven't. Why? Did something happen?" And she goes, "Well, yeah." So, I think I forgot how it happened, but she mentioned that she wasn't living on the mountain, or her father asked like how the clan was doing, and basically Shiro mentioned that she wasn't living in the village right then, and he was like, "Oh, like were you banished from the village? I'll give Yvonne like trouble if that's what happened. And she was like, no, Yvonne didn't do it. And she was like, well, technically they did, but it's only temporary and it's a whole situation, but it's almost done. He was like, all right, good, I think. But after that, so heading to the now, he was like, there's someone I not want you to meet. Yeah, someone I want you to meet. And wait, did I mention? Hold on. Yeah, so she asked him prior, like, oh, is mom there? And he was like, no. So he's like, there's someone I want you to meet. And Shiro finds her mom, and she goes, actually, like, they all like cry and they're hugging. And at some point Shiro goes, so what happened? And I have it in the story basically where Shiro's mom was accused of being, actually, yeah, I have it in Shiro's story where Shiro's mom was accused of being this cult member, and so basically she left Shiro and Kuroi and was tried to find the cult and take them on alone. It was like an assassin's cult, and she did find them, but she greatly underestimated them, pretty much. She was like, I underestimated them, and I'm sure I didn't go down with a fight. I'm sure I took out a couple of them, but she died in the process. Basically confirming to Shiro that the cult is who killed her mom, because at that point, Shiro's mom had been missing for a couple of years. And Shiro and Kuroi didn't know what happened to their mom. So now they've got confirmation about that. Whatchamacallit? Yeah. So after that, they go up the mountain. They're just talking. They're just some chatter. And Shiro sees Zoe and Toss. And they're basically like, "Oh, why did you come here or something, or what was the reason for you guys being here?" And Shiro basically explained the gems and like the whole situation about how these gems can't be together. And they were like, "Oh, I accept this. I will guard this." And they're like, "You can ask me anything." Apparently we all took a different approach to the questions we asked. We were told by the DM that Ivar was very, like, asked questions about, or Lizva, more in the past. Shiro asked more about the future, and then Vetvik was more in the present sort of thing, which I thought was really cool. But, so the questions Shiro asked was, do you know where the temples are so that we can bury these gems or put these gems there as well? And they're like, no, we don't unfortunately know the location of our siblings, but we know they're very far from us, so not really much help there, but you know. She asks, or Shiro also asks, do you know if if the tokens erase or kill, I think it was like if they killed, she was like, oh, I think it was the first question. She was like, oh, the people that we chose on the tokens, are they no longer of the mortal plane? And they're like, they are still living, but the tokens were soul tokens, and it basically took a piece of their soul. And Shiro asked, she was like, is that, like, do they not remember them, or what exactly does that mean? And they're like, you'll have to find out. It's like, god damn it. So yeah. Didn't really get too much from that, but we can at least confirm it would not have killed any of them. And that everybody is in fact alive, but maybe they don't remember us, or like maybe something is wrong with them, something of that sort. So yeah, she was talking, and oh, you know what? So as like originally when she first founded this like mountain up there, it was like anybody that's ever died in her clan Um, yeah, I'll give this as a spoiler as well. So when Shiro's clan went into this, they went into the cave to fight this dragon, it was because two hatchlings had left their camp early and went up. I think they were like 4 and 5 years old. They were like babies, and they went to fight this dragon. And they might have been slightly older. Definitely not apprentices. I think they were less than 10. Um, I don't know. They made it like I think it was like a half a day or a full day's journey up there. So they somehow made it up there. And so the clan went to go save these hatchlings, and Shiro did see the hatchlings up there, and she apologized to them. She's like, "I'm sorry we couldn't save you." And they're like, "It's all right. We forgive you guys. We shouldn't have gone up." And they're like, it was bigger than we expected, and like they shouldn't have left without like they shouldn't have left to do that. It was really sad. Um. So yeah. That's basically the sequence they had, and eventually, I think before they even went up, Shiro's dad was like, "Oh, like you're not, like it's not your time to join us yet, but there's someone you have to talk to," and that's when she saw Zoe and Toss up there. But yeah, basically that's where the event ended. Eventually, like either the clan and everything faded, or she didn't know if she was fading away or what, but basically one or the two faded away, and uh kind of like same thing, faded to black sort of situation. Um, you guys are, we did learn, I forgot my, when we played, there was another name learned. So every time we killed one of the characters, like the doppelgangers, they said a line, depending on who killed them. Ooh. I love that lag for killing a grub. Hold on. You know what? I'll probably just leave it off for that, but let me continue my story. Let me click off, actually. So, basically, they were like, the only important one, at least to Shiro's story, was like, oh, I forgot the name. I made the document with all the names, like a month in advance, and then or a couple months in advance, and I never looked at the names again. Because I have all these names written down on the document I have for Shiro. It's right up here. There it is. Oh, I found that fast. She went, Droon, is that you? So there's Yvonne is it Tombo? What is her last name? Yeah, Yvonne Tombo, and then Droon. So she went, Droon, is that you? So yeah, that's another name they learned. So after everybody had their session, or their not session, after everybody had their one-on-one thing with the DM, we were all gathered back, and it was kind of rushed because Vetbeak's player had to leave. Um, what was it? So, um, all three of us like slowly awake, and we're in this room, and there's a statue of Zoe and Toss hugging this figure with two or four eyes and two arms. We were asked at the beginning of the individual things whether we saw Zoe and Toss as one people or two, and apparently all three of us chose two people, which I think was really funny. So yeah, it's kind of like no matter what we chose, there's a statue of either or. And yeah, there was like one of them, one of the hands were outstretched, and I think Ivar put one of the gems in its hand, and it kind of like curled it into the hug with them, kind of like protecting it. And then there was a basin with like 600 gold, so we split 200 each, and a token that had like, I think it was like the figures. I think it had Zoe and Toss on one and then the combined figure on the other, something like that. And Vetvik took that since Vetvik's religion, Vetvik follows under Zoe and Toss, like his god is them. Like each everybody has like a god they fall under and worship. So Vetvik does Zoe and Toss. I don't remember. I forget the name, but Shiro follows the god of strength and weakness, and then Ivar is, I think Ivar follows love and hate or something like that. There's, yeah, the four temples is life and death, love and hate, strength and weakness. I forget what the last one was, but then we learned actually, at least out of character, we learned that there's like a higher one above that, and it's the god of life and, or not life, time and change. That's pretty cool. So we walk up the stairs. It was really funny because we jokingly were like, um, we were like, roll to see how well you get up these stairs. And I think Vetvik rolled a 2, and we were shocked. And then me and Ivar rolled. We both got nat ones. So the DM is like, you all hold hands and go up the stairs, and you trip and die. No, we were joking we just trip and die. We're like, hey Tass, we're dead. No, but it was like, you guys, we stumble a bit, but we make it up the stairs eventually. And it's kind of this thing where we get spit out into where we left the horse and Dan the rat. It was like we walk up through this entryway into the forest and we turn around and the entryway's gone. We go, what the heck? So we're basically spit out of the fog back towards our cart. And that's where our session left off. So we spent 19 hours, pretty much, fighting or doing nothing but this temple. Probably closer to 20 hours, actually, now that I think about it. In the span of 2 days. 20 hours doing all that. So yeah, we got one of the temples done. I think some of the main worries is that we want to figure out what's happened to everybody who was given up on the soul tokens. I want Shiro to talk to Gaius definitely and ask like about his father and figure out basically if we were there, if that affected anybody's memories. We also just have to start like learning the location of the other temples. And I mean, hopefully Gaius will have more information about this cult that attacked us at the beginning of the temple, but we don't know. What else was there? So I was kind of following the what should we call it? So there's different points. I was trying to figure out how long we could have been in there for. I just out of character, I was trying to figure this out. So we woke up in the morning and started it, and we only took one long rest. So maybe it's been a day, or maybe we just like skipped scenes where we like went to sleep and rested for a bit. But so when we first went in, it was morning. When we got into that room with the what is it? With all the people gathered, the two windows I briefly mentioned with the courtyard, it was nighttime. So if this is tracking, that's one day that has passed. Although all we did in that time was a singular fight, so I'm not 100% sure on that. So one day has passed, and then when we went into the door, or the next time we saw any form of day or nighttime, it was when we went into that grassy field and it was daytime. And then, so like these doors, I don't know if they count strictly because of the fact that it was like sun is a representation of life and moon is a representation of death. So, or at least, yeah. So we didn't know if like it was because that's the door belonged to, or maybe it was to pass time. I'm not sure. And then I think all three of the rooms we went through in Death were also nighttime. So technically, if you follow that, the life door, it was sunset, so that's that day setting, and then the next one it was moonset, turning into day, so that's another day passed. So by this point, either 1 or 2 days probably passed. I can't remember. I don't think we saw any indicator of time after that until the next, which I think it was daytime. So, unless we're told otherwise, unless there's like some time warp thing or whatever, and we just like didn't really mention whenever the characters went to sleep and stuff. It's under the assumption that only a day or two has passed. So yeah. That's also not to mention our characters were also out and like were in that fountain. So it could have been maybe a week or so. We're not completely sure. So yeah. I think it would be really funny if we were just like we're on the road and we meet up with Gaius because he's heading back to Valley. What is it called? Valley or something? So it'd be really funny if we're on the road heading there and we just like we see him as like you guys literally left like like a day or two ago and you're already done. What the heck? But yeah. So yeah, last we left off. Oh yeah, we when we were spit out, Karasu was on the wagon with the letter in their hands. So finally Karasu came back. Now that Gaius is gone, of course. With this letter from the king. But that was pre Soul Token, obviously, because it like we were doing the calculations. This letter was probably sent like a week or so in advance. So this was before the temple. Uh he would have written the response before the temple, so we don't know if his memories were messed with or anything, because this was written before any of that would have happened. So I don't know. We didn't even look in the letter because we had to like skedaddle out of there. But yeah. I'm gonna probably call it here just because I am 20 minutes over time, but also I was gone for a hot minute, so I'm in terms of how long I've been talking and actually here present, I'm coming up to on time, but on top or in perception of actual stream time, it's about 23 minutes over, so I'm not gonna there's only one person, so I'm not gonna send off a raid, but maybe next time.